And a very good morning to you. Welcome to this morning's United Kingdom Talk here on United Kingdom Radio. It's back again. I've got this blooming chest again. Do you know, I've been so on and off, nothing major, nothing terrible. I mean, certainly nothing as bad as my mate at the moment, who is at the moment, not Ron, this is another one. I've got a few friends. Yeah, I'm not Billy No Mates. I know some of you are thinking there that I'm this sad, lonely old git who sits in a room talking to himself 3 hours a week. I do have other friends, Though my friend Paul at the moment is actually better now. But it was 50-50 the other night. He's gone into hospital with meningitis. I know there's various different forms of meningitis, but he said it was a particularly bad one. Hang on, I've got the text here from him because excuse the cough. I'm gonna be coughing a bit again today. This is since I come back from holiday, right? When I went off, I had no real problem before I went on holiday. Maybe a cold here and there. While I was on holiday, nothing. Absolutely nothing at all. No sniffle, no asthma, nothing whatsoever. You come back off holiday, literally. The moment the plane touched down, I got off the plane, got my bag, my mate Ron picked me up from the airport, I got in the car and I started the asthma. A little bit like that. Literally, within an hour of me being back in Heathrow Airport. Unbelievable. Nothing on holiday at all. Right, let me see if I can find this. Where is it now? Here we are. This is from my mate Paul, who texted everyone. I apologise for the block mail, but this is taking most of my strength. Okay, it's meningitis, and quite a strong one. Having lumbar punctures in the spine to daily remove the fluid and pressure from the brain. High hopes. Any noise and light is painful, and talking makes me both sick and exhausted, so excuse me wanting no visitors. Another update soon. And he says, feeding tube tomorrow. So quite a serious thing, this meningitis. That was on the 26th, so that's what, Friday? Was that Friday, the 26th? Let's have a quick look. Friday was the Saturday the 26th, right? And I texted him again, so that's Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Texted him yesterday, if you need anything, just ask. And he says, I'm doing much better now. Need for nothing, thanks. Just an early night. So, once again, the wonders of modern antibiotics and drugs and medical care that we have in the UK here, completely free of charge on the NHS, is just wonderful, isn't it? Yes, I know they can't sort everything out sometimes. If you're unlucky, you'll get something, they can't sort it out. But a lot of the time they can. And meningitis, you'd be dead from that without any care, wouldn't you? You'd absolutely be dead from that. So I hope Paul's going to get better there. Very serious. But I've just got this chest again and it keeps coming back. Probably, it's not the same thing. It's not exactly the same every time. Perhaps it's another different infection that is attacking my system, boys and girls. I'm being attacked left, right and centre here. So if I cough a bit today, then you know why that is, all right? Now, I did have my iPhone up a minute ago. I found a new app. Now, you'll love this. You'll love this. By the way, do you want to know what time that is? Yep, okay. It's Tuesday the 1st of February 2011, coming up to 9 minutes past 11 o'clock in the morning, okay? Tuesday the 1st of February, a pinch and a punch. It's the first day of the month and no returns. White rabbits, white rabbits, white rabbits. Why do we do that? Why do we say white rabbits? Anyway, let me just play you this. I found this new application for my iPhone called Sleep Talk. Okay? Yes, darlings, boys and girls, if you don't know already, I do now have an iPhone 4. I've had this about 3 months. It never leaves my sight. That's one thing. Can I just advise you that? Never, ever, if you're out somewhere in a pub or a bar or whatever, do not leave your phone on the table because you are, quote, popping to the toilet for a minute. It will not be there. Do you know the amount of people that come up and say, have you had a phone handed in? I just popped outside for a cigarette and I left it there. Never, ever leave your phone or coat or purse or bag on a table. Last night at Belushi's in Hammersmith, my God, another busy night. I'm starting to wonder if Belushi's ever has quiet nights anywhere. They are always busy. And last night, a bit manic for the karaoke once again. I do feel a bit guilty sometimes, of course, because the regular people that come for the karaoke week in, week out, and they like to sing 3 or 4 times. But when it gets extremely busy, I think a lot of them only ended up singing twice last night. And I often feel guilty about that. But I try and be as completely fair as I can to anyone. And I don't have many rules, except that if you haven't sung, you will always take preference over someone who has sung. So I try and get as many people singing as possible. One thing, the hardest thing I think really about a karaoke night is keeping control. You mustn't be pressured or pushed into putting someone on earlier than anyone else. Once you start doing that, you're going to be out the door. You've absolutely got to be fair to everyone. And the only person that could say to me, could you put him on now or her on now, would be the manager. And then if someone, well, why did you put them? The manager told me. Okay. So it is quite difficult. Now I've got this, so very, very busy again for the karaoke night last night. Wonderful time. And we found some new, really good singers. One girl, what was her name? Terry Marie or Terry Ann, I think her name was, and she did Whitney Houston. I have nothing at all, La da 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 da. I love Whitney Houston, don't you? What a shame she can't sing anymore, love is. But she had a nice time in the 80s. I like ballads. I do like ballads, and I'm hoping opens up the little package that Barry Manilow, who I'm going to see in May, yes I am, Barry Manilow and the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. These tickets have sat in front of me here for months because I haven't been to a concert for years. Seriously, the last concert I went to see was Wham. Yes, in the 80s. Or was it the 70s? Can't remember now. George Michael and Andrew Ridgeley from Wham were doing a concert, and I went to see Wham in concert. So this is only the second concert that I've ever been to in my entire life. I know some people that go to concerts all the time. It costs so much. And you have to remember what you're paying for here. Now, me, right? This is what you call value for money. It's cost £65 for this ticket. And I will see Barry Manilow singing live. He does not mime. Okay? Barry Manilow will be singing live with the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. Fantastic. Those of you that pay £200 or £300 to see people mime, like Madonna, has to be said, like Britney Spears and various other members of the pop fraternity, I mean, that just to me is madness. Why would you want to pay someone just to look at them? You just want to look at them going to music. What's the point of that? I just don't see the point of that. Go and see someone mime. So there we are. Value for money. Barry Manilow soon. Me and my friend are going to see that. Right, now, I was just telling you about this... Oh, yes. And some of the singers last night, let me see. And there's, what was it? So, Terry Ann or Terry Marie. I can't remember her name now. Lovely girl. She would like to get into cabaret singing. All right, so I've taken her number and I'm going to pass it on to one of my drag queen friends because I reckon she could do a couple of little spots. That's how you usually, if you want to get singing, you need to find someone who is already on stage perhaps and do a spot within their show, like a guest appearance. And that's how you would try and get into something like that. And I know a couple of people who do have... guest people on now and again, so I've taken her number. I should be giving that to her. There's a young lad who comes every week. His name's Silence. Lovely chap he is. He's really good. I mean, very, very good indeed. He sings a lot of ballads. I think he only does ballads. But when he sings, you can see it in his face. He is telling a story. And I can often judge what sort of mood he's in by the way he's singing. And last night, it was coming across as a little bit down last night, so I'm going to ring in a little bit later and see if I can find out what's wrong. But some people You know, there is a difference to just standing there with a mic and belting it out, as I would do, to be honest. You know, I'm not a singer. I am a karaoke singer, shall we say, right? I'm not a singer. But there's a difference to standing there, you know, and just going through the motions, singing the words out as loud as you can. And people like Silence, who stand there with that mic and you can see the emotion in his face and the way his singing the song is very much the way he's feeling at the moment, almost telling a story. Fantastic. So let's hear him. There's a girl called Anna. She's great, and she's got, I think, 5 daughters. I've seen, I think, 3 of them sing so far. There's Georgina, and 2 others. And every one of them can sing. They are like a family. They remind me of the Jacksons. Obviously, they were boys. These are girls. But you know what I mean? A family of all of them, including the mother, who sing very well. Never a note out of place. They are really good. The favourite one of mine, Anna does, is Young Hearts Run Free. You know that one from Candy Staten? Young Hearts Run Free. Oh, yes, and my tambourine comes out for that one, dear. Yeah, I got tambourine. I got tambourine. I take with me tambourine, cymbals, you know, crash, cymbals. They're usually used for the some of the ballads, okay? For example, going back to the Whitney Houston one, I Have Nothing at All. When it changes key near the end, and let me close one more door, or wherever it goes. That's where you've got to get the cymbal in the right place, you know. There's too many people out there who grab cymbals, or, even worse, a tambourine, and they shake it, and it's not in time to the music. Oh, how annoying is that, dear? It's got to be in time to the music, please. Keep your instruments banging away. Banging away? Yes, banging away in time to the music. Otherwise it goes all wrong. It really does. So there's that family. Now, who else was there last night? There's some wonderful singers. There's a guy called Steve, older guy. He comes every week. There's George from Newcastle. He comes every week. Great voice, George. And there's just some wonderful, wonderful, too many to mention. Really good singing. And another friend of mine, 3 of my friends came down from the Black Cap last night. Richard and Paul and Mick, known as Voodoo Mick. Okay, because he does tarot cards. He's done mine a few times and he's usually fairly good at them. Voodoo Mick. Those 3 came down last night. And after a few people had been singing, I kind of thought to myself, you know, there's a show here. When you see and hear the wonderful voices, I'm not just saying this. You know, not everyone who came last night's karaoke at Bluches, every Monday night that is, in Hammersmith. Not everyone that sang last night could be in a show. But I would say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7 of them could definitely have been in a show last night. Absolutely. And I said to my friend Richard, who's a drag queen, and she does entertainment things as well, does booking of acts in other places. And I said to her, you know, there's a show here. When you look at these people singing, there is a show there. If you could get these people all together, give them some, because obviously, you know, we only go in there in our normal clothes, right? You know, t-shirt, pair of jeans, and that. You know, if you stuck them in some nice sparkling clothes, you know, stage type clothes, and had all their hair done and all that, there is a blooming show there. I mean, and some of them a hell of a lot better than you see the rubbish. I nearly swore then. When you see some of the rubbish that appears on programmes like The X Factor and Britain's Got Talent. I mean, there's some real crap on there, isn't there? You know, there are some very good people. But there are others who are they just don't have it. How on earth they ever get on the TV? Well, you know, because it's a TV show, and I suppose they have to make some people go on there and look really bad, because that's just the way it is. I suppose, really, you know, if they chose only the really good people to go on these TV shows, then it might well be boring, mightn't it? But watching these 6 or 7 people last night, and I said to Richard, you know, there is definitely a show there, but how would you get people together like that? I mean, certainly the places that I work in, when I put people on the stage, you know, when I say I put people on the stage, I don't book them or anything like that. You know, they are booked by the venue concerned, and I push the buttons and do the talking in between. You know, it's cabaret time. Please welcome, I don't know, Sandra or someone like that. You know, and they will come on and do their stuff. I'll be working the sound and the lights for them. All right. But how do you get these people, you know, if there were say there were 7 people in this show, the venues I work on would not pay them properly, okay? You know, you'd have to pay them each, I don't know, how much would you pay them each? I don't know, if there were 7 people, you'd have to pay them at least £75 each, you know, to do a bit of singing. That's quite low. That is low. But then 75 times 7 is a lot of money, and the places I work in wouldn't pay that. So where do you go with that? So then you've got 7 unknown singers. No one knows them. You couldn't book a big hall and fill it, you know, how you'd have to advertise it and all that. And I just don't see where you'd go with that. The other thing Richard said, of course, is that you do have to remember, no matter how well they sing, and they can sing damn well, really well. He says, you have to remember they are singing while reading the words from a screen. It may well be very different. If you took those words away, they had to learn them, and then they sang in public like that. But, you know, it's an interesting thought. Where would you go with a show like that? 7 people, all who can sing very well. What do you do with that? What do you do with it? Someone will know that. Someone will know that. There's an email address if you want to join at any time. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co. Hang on, I just lost something there. .co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I was just showing you this. I better do a couple of messages while they're coming in there. Good morning to Zach, who said, did you fall asleep on the plane by any chance? What, the plane coming back? Yeah, sort of on and off. What, back from Australia, you mean? Yeah, on and off I was falling asleep on the plane. I haven't spoken much about my holiday, have I, actually? It's so much more to tell you. Phil says, have you got your clock yet? Not yet, Phil. I am pleased to tell you, boys and girls, that I won the eBay bidding for one of the electric clocks that I was bidding for. I have won, also at a very good price, £14.99. So we're quite happy with that. Thank you very much, Phil. £14.99 I've paid for that. Good morning to James. Me and Josh are listening again in physics, learning about Uranus, the planet. What are you learning? Are you learning about planets? I'd actually like to go and visit an observatory. You know, not with the projection on the ceiling. I'd like to go somewhere where I can look through a telescope live at stars. I think that would be fantastic, James. Good morning, Josh, as well. We've got a phone call coming in. Good morning.
Morning. And I was just talking about we're in physics now. And I shouldn't be really on the phone, but we're really learning, because James had to answer this question about planets.
Is that,
and he answered the question, and he said Uranus, and I thought he was insulting the teacher. It was funny.
Oh, yes, tell him to watch his language. Is that Josh?
Yeah, it's Josh.
Good morning, Josh. Yeah, tell him to watch his language, please. We are talking about planets, though, aren't we? We are talking about planets. Josh, have you ever been to an observatory?
Nope.
I'd love to do that, you know, to be able to, I mean, we've all seen stars and pictures of galaxies and all that on video screens and on the telly and that. But can you just imagine to actually look through a telescope, right, and actually see a galaxy as it is at that moment? Or maybe...
Chris, I'll listen to your radio, like, through my headphones, because I can't really talk, right?
Oh, yes, get back to the lesson. Thank you, Josh. Don't get me into trouble, for God's sake.
Okay.
See ya. There we are. Josh, the pair of them keep... They keep listening on their iPhones while they're at school. I should get in terrible trouble with this. Yeah, I'd really like to do that. I actually looked up visit observatory, and I can only find things like the London Planetarium or stuff like that, which isn't the same. You know, what they've got there is a wonderful exhibition. If you ever go to London, go to the London Planetarium. But what they got there is projectors that beam up pictures onto the sort of circular or dome type ceiling there of the night sky. But I would really like to go into an observatory and look through telescopes at things live as they are. You imagine looking perhaps at the surface, I don't know, if the surface of the moon. I'm sure they can do that with these high-powered telescopes, looking at the surface of the moon as it is at that moment, not at pictures on the telly. I just think that'd be fantastic to do that. There's an email address if you'd like to join in by email. Oh, I've forgotten to do something else. Oh, God. Always forgetting to do things. There we are. You'll probably get a little bit of chat there. Just a minute. There we are. Sorry about that. Those of you listening on the audio stream would have just heard something there. Welcome to 1000 Mics. We're a bit late on there. What was I saying? I can't remember what I was saying now. I was thrown off course then. Never mind. I was talking about, at last, can we get back to this thing here? The new app I've got for my iPhone called Sleep Talk. Okay, it's called Sleep Talk. Now, this app, what you do basically is you put your iPhone next to your bed, right? And you hit the Sleep Talk app, which is free of charge. And we like free. Or was it free of charge? Oh, I can't remember now. I think it was free of charge. And you put it next to your bed, hit the start button, and it then waits for 30 seconds. And then after 30 minutes, I think it is, it waits for 30 minutes. And after 30 minutes, it starts listening for noises. Right? So the idea is it records any noise that you make during your period asleep or in bed, whatever. And it's wonderful. And I did this the other day, and I was shocked and horrified to realise that I snore. Now, no one has told me over the years, because there's been a few. No one's told me that I snore in bed before. Now, fortunately, I've got a little gadget here which will allow me to plug my iPhone into the sound system here, so that you can now hear me snore. Okay, you're going to love this. You will love this, right? And it is. It is the strangest snoring noise that I've ever heard. Let's give this a little play then. Right, a second. Let me push the play button. And this should happen at some point, I think. There we go. Can you hear that? Is that loud enough? Seem to be sort of little bursts of snoring, don't they? Here comes another one. But hang on, let me see if I can find a longer one. I've got, what's this here? Because you can actually see where the recording's been made. Just a second. Oh no, I think that's where I got up to go to the toilet. Let me find it. Here's another one. Here's another one here. Here it comes. So there you are. If you want to, the idea is it will catch you if you start talking in your sleep. But I was rather disappointed to find. Oh, there's some loud ones here. Just a minute. What are these ones here then? Hang on. I haven't listened to these ones actually. I'm a bit worried to know what they are. Let me see what this is.
You think about it.
Oh my God, I am talking! Now, do I want you to listen to this or not? No, I'll tell you what, I'm just going to mute... I don't know what I'm saying there. Do I just play this or what? That could be anything, couldn't it? No, I'm not going to play that. I'll wait until I've heard it first. So there you are. A lot of fun there for the iPhone. I think it was free. It was either free or very, very cheap. Sleep Talk. An app for your iPhone there. Put it... Oh, I can't wait to hear what that is now, actually. If I put that on, was that... let me mute my microphone and hear what this is. Just a second now. I'll be back in a minute. Stay there, stay there. Well, I'm not actually making out what I was saying there at all, but I was definitely saying something. Oh, I'll have to listen to all of this now. There's another... What's this here? No. There's no more. No, I'm going to have to listen to all of that now to see if I could hear anything to say. Go on, try that one for your iPhone, okay? Sleep Talk is what that's called. Hello to Merlin. Good morning, Merlin. Who says, morning, Chris. Not been ill in ages. Woke up this morning, get into the studio for work, and blocked nose and nasty chesty cough. Knocked me for 6. Well, that's what... Actually, it's not too bad a cough. It is a bit chesty. It's my camera sort of... I just realised it's hanging down this morning. There we are. I was all crooked, wasn't I? I was crooked then. Yes, it's a little bit of a cough, but it's not too bad. Merlin says we should write a musical called Karaoke the Musical Thing. It would be the next best thing. Let's do it. Well, yeah, but what would you do with it then? Yeah, who would come and see it? How do you get people to come and see it? I do remember this dreadful programme on ITV which involved karaoke singing. Did anyone see that? I think it was not last year, but the year before. Oh, it was awful. Awful. I think it was the whole way the thing was presented. And was it Philip Schofield presenting it? I mean, he's all right, but I do get sick of seeing the same old face, don't you? You know, Philip Schofield. Merlin says, you snore and it sounds like bed springs. Excuse me, there are no bed springs in my bed. My bed, I've got an expensive bed. It's not one of those beds that you buy, £100 from the catalogue and the springs are sticking up into you. Oh, let me tell you, never buy a cheap bed. Oh, it's awful. I had one once. It lasted a year. And then when I turned over, the springs would be pushing into my rib cage. Very, very painful indeed. Phil says, can you do Skype with video on your iPhone? I'm planning on upgrading my phone, but would like one that video on Skype works okay. No, can't do Skype videos on the iPhone. At least I can't. Anyone else that might know that, do let us know. Phil in Hoddesdon is waiting for your answers. Zach says, you were talking about your trip. Oh, yes, I know I was talking about the trip. You had the talk... Still a good topic, though. You had talking, I reckon, but it couldn't be played on the station for other reasons. I can't remember that. I can't remember that at all. James said, hope Josh didn't say anything bad about me. No, he didn't, James. He didn't, but I think he was about to. I had to shut him up. Okay? Keep an eye on that one, okay? Do keep an eye on that one. Email once again, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, someone wants to call in as well. They've asked me to ring them. And if you don't mind, I'm going to actually try and do this from my iPhone because... And that will be another sort of little thing we can do then, you see. Because I haven't tried this. Let me see. We're going over to Yorkshire, I think. What, Yorkshire or Wales? Where is he? There it is. Let's give this a quick ring there. Should get a ringing tone in a minute. I don't know if this is going to work or not.
So to messaging service. The person you are calling is unable to take your call.
I mean, what is the point in telling me to ring when these people don't answer? I shall have to send a text now. Just a minute. Oh. Shall I send a rude text? Shall I swear at him for that? That's so annoying, that is. There we are. How do you spell answer? Answer, phone. There we Oh, yeah. These people that tell you to ring and then they're not there, I don't know. Right, if you want to join in live, then it's just coming up to 25 minutes to 12 on the 1st of March 2011 on Tuesday. You can join in live if it's that time where you are now. My Skype in is United Kingdom Radio, all one word. All right, United Kingdom Radio. There's a phone-in number as well, 020 3287 1488. 020 3287 1488. Merlin says you can do FaceTime on the iPhone 4 free with certain contracts. What is FaceTime? I don't know what that is. Is this another Skype thing? FaceTime. Don't know what FaceTime is, I'm afraid. More information on that, please. Zach says the sleep talking can't be played because of its content. No, I'm not sure what that is. I'm obviously saying something in my sleep. I wonder what it is. Maybe I'm rehearsing for my next show. It could be. If you're watching a recording, then you can still join in, of course, on the email. Chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is the email address. Chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Good morning to Fag Ashley, who says, Chris, how to put on a show with several unknowns. I think to start with, they would be happy to perform for some drinks and maybe a cut of the door money, just so that they could get themselves out there and enjoy performing. Even the biggest stars have to start somewhere. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Lil. You are absolutely right. I just wonder if I could actually put together a show like that. Is it within me to be able to do that? I don't know. I think it's definitely something I'm going to look at. Putting together a show with these wonderful singers that I've got. Not my singers, you know, but that turn up to the karaoke week in, week out, wonderful voices, and you know, they could be singers. Funny, isn't it? Thag Ashley also recently sent in this email a few days ago, who says, "Hiya Chris, hope you're well. Well, I've got this chest again, dear. It's not as bad as it was a couple of weeks ago, if you remember. I had to take a whole show off, but it's still hanging around. I don't know if I should go swimming tonight or not." She says, "You mentioned the other day that you may have Alzheimer's." Yes, I'm starting to worry about that because I keep forgetting things. You must know that. I mean, doing this show, for example, how many times am I talking about something and then suddenly it's gone? That happens so many times. She says, and in the following show, you said how computers kept forgetting things. Yes, I've got a particular computer in here. It's a Dell computer, and it forgets things. It forgets certain settings and that sort of thing. That's what I'm talking about there. She says, you don't suppose your computer has Alzheimer's as well, do you? Well, it could be. It might well be. I don't know. I mean, it certainly doesn't seem to recognise me when I switch it on. She says, oh yeah, no point in asking since you probably forgot. Well, I've even forgotten about you now, Lil, to be honest. I've forgotten that you've even written that letter in, okay? Chris@UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk, the email address. Now, on Saturday's show, we were talking about collecting things, which we've done several times on this show. We've often talked about collecting things. Hang on, what's Phil saying here? Phil says, I've been listening to Paul Edwards and catching up a lot, including the interviews he gave with you and Fag Ash Lil. Very interesting. Yeah, we've got some other people here on United Kingdom Radio, and all the podcasts are up, including a podcast by our newest recruit, 12 years old, James Sanders. Okay? And you can find the podcasts for all the other shows, including James's one, at unitedkingdomradio.co.uk. At the top, it says download podcasts. All right? Once again, unitedkingdomradio.co.uk is where the podcasts for all the other presenters are. Some you will like, some you won't. Not everyone likes everyone else. Find the ones you like and stick with them. All right? The main website for this particular show, with the podcasts going back right now to 2005, you'll find at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. If you ever miss a show and you want to listen, or you want to listen again, that's where you'll find my shows, okay? unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. And James is our newest presenter. He started on Saturday, and for a first show, it was blooming good. We enjoyed it. Okay, so there we are. Josh's show there, UnitedKingdomRadio.co.uk. FaceTime is basic video calling like Skype, but I think it only works iPhone to iPhone. So Merlin, you've got an iPhone, haven't you? If I had your number, could I? Is it an app? What is it called? FaceTime. Is it an app? Do I need to download an app? Do I need to download an app? Let me see. No, hang on. Downloaded that sleep app. Where is it now? App Store. What do you call it again? FaceTime. Let's try that. Search. Okay, FaceTime. So presumably that would work with the FaceTime. FaceTime with Madge Nutmegs? What on earth is that? I can't find this. Or maybe it's one word, is it? FaceTime? No. FaceTime doesn't come up. Oh, you're not giving me dodgy information, Merlin, are you, for God's sake? Dear me. Good morning, James. Morning, James. Hello? Are you there? Hello? No, he's obviously sat on his phone now, hasn't he? Right. Right, okay. Now, we were talking about people collecting things, and we've done that on the show a few times. I was talking about, I collect clocks, okay? I've got a wall in the kitchen that is full of clocks, and getting more and more on those at the moment. I love clocks. And Martin writes, you'd be surprised what people collect, especially things from when they were young. They are probably hundreds of pounds worth of old items in people's lofts, in old toys, games, and even old computers from the 80s. Now, that's the thing, I had a Sinclair Spectrum. That was my first computer. And, when is the last time you went up into your loft, or maybe you're the daughter or son or someone. Have you ever been into your mum and dad's loft? Or the basement? Have you ever been into one of those? I bet there's some little nuggets down there for you. Not just things that you want to sell. We're not talking about money type things here. Just interesting things. Maybe newspapers. I have some newspapers up in the loft, telling me of certain stories throughout my life. When one of my friends met Princess Diana, yes, picture of him on the front there. And one of my nan, years ago, won the Daily Mirror bingo. She did. My nan once won the Daily Mirror bingo. Quite a lot of money. We're not talking millions here, okay? I mean, that's we're not talking lottery money, but nevertheless, a nice little sum of money she won. And she was on the front page of the Daily Mirror, and it called Laughing Linda. I'll try and dig it out at some point and show you. It was a long time ago, as I say. My nan actually died about 95. My nan died in 1995. But I've got that paper upstairs. And it's nice to occasionally get them down and have a little look through them. Or maybe even old papers, old television schedules and that sort of thing. Martin says, most people try and make money by watching bargain hunt or cash in the attic type programmes and going to car boot fairs and trying to make money like that. Most people fail, he says. He also says, I created a new training DVD called Auction Reaper, where I teach people some insider tricks to know exactly what products you find at car boot fairs that will make you a profit when selling on eBay. So, I mean, this could be worth looking at. He says people can check out the website at auctionreaper.com. Let's have a look at that. Auctionreaper.com. Oh, I'm going to have a look at that. auctionreaper.com. Oh, no, I've done that wrong. www.auctionreaper.com. Is that it? That's it. Got it now. Training DVD. How to make money on eBay, it says. Even a child could do it. So that's interesting, isn't it? All right, you might want to have a little look at that. Well, there he is doing the video there. I wonder how much they are. £21.95. Oh, that's quite expensive, isn't it? £21.95. Mind you, if you were sort of doing a, if you were making a lot of money from that £21.95 DVD, then it's probably worth having. I'll have to contact him and see if we can get perhaps a couple as a prize or something. All right, so have a look at that site. Once again, auctionreaper.com. AUCTIONREAPER. Auctionreaper.com. So thanks very much for that, Martin. I'll contact him and see if we can get a couple of the DVDs as prizes. All right. James is in physics. Oh, he was going to show us the classroom. No, best pay attention to your lessons, James, will you? For God's sake, I will get in terrible trouble. I will get in trouble. Zach says, do you reckon the audience will like me? Yeah. Zach is on Australia. He did try once before to do a show, but the connection was pretty poor where he lives out there in Australia, a particular part in Orange. So he's going to... Is that... clock going to chime again in a minute? Yes, it is. So Zach is going to try it again at some point and do another show. I'll let you know when that is, all right? Okay, Merlin sent me a link to the FaceTime thing. Well, yeah, but it doesn't come up, Zach, on the search thing. I did a search on the App Store, but it doesn't come up. I don't know why. I'll have another look when I finish the show. Let's give this Danny another ring to see if he answers the phone, shall we? It's the first time I've actually...
The O2 messaging service.
No, it's hopeless, isn't it? Why do these people, they ask you to ring and then they're not there? And the other thing is, sometimes you get people that, they want to ring you, right? And because it doesn't happen instantly, they go. It doesn't all happen within the first 2 minutes, I have to build the show, build the excitement here. You've got to build the excitement slowly. Thank you for that, Merlin. I will have a little look at that. Oh, hang on, that's still going, isn't it? Okie doke. Hello to Lorraine, who's with us live today, who's in Oregon, USA. Good morning, Lorraine. She says, hi, Chris, my name's Lorraine. I've been a long-time listener, and we love you long time, Lorraine. We love you long time. She says, I'm visiting the UK from Oregon, USA, and I'm staying in the small town of Ross-on-Wye, which is, means it's when it's on something in the UK. If you get, for example, Henley-on-Thames or Ross-on-Wye, Wye, the last bit on, whatever, Thames, means it's near a river. It doesn't actually mean it's on the river, okay? She's not listening in a houseboat. So she's near a river. She says, have you ever been there? No, I don't think I have, actually. I'm not even sure where it is. I'm going to have a quick look and see where that is, if I have ever been close to it. Ross-on-Wye is in... Oh, it can't be that far if it's on the A40, is it? A40, because the A40 is a very, very long road. Goes right the way into London, that does. No, I've never been to Ross-on-Wye or anywhere near it, according to this. As you're on the M50, are you, Kenda Church? What's the nearest town then? Cheltenham. No, haven't been near Ross-on-Wye. Sorry, not near there. Have you ever been there? Anyway, just wanted you to know how much I love the show. Keep up the great work. We'll email again when I get back to the States. Lorraine, welcome, Lorraine. Nice to hear from you, my love. All these people, they listen for ages and ages, and you never hear from them, and suddenly, out of the blue, comes a message. Hello, Lorraine. Welcome to the show. All right. Okie doke. That's all the day's emails coming up there. Got to say hello to James, who keeps us busy with the old emails, don't you, James? Thank you very much for those, mate. Who wrote a couple of letters recently, which I haven't got round to yet. He says, it seems a turbulent time in the Middle East. Wonders what will happen next Yes, because of course, this is going, I hate to say this, this appears to be going the same way. I'm not talking about militarily, but the same way as Iraq. Now, if you remember, Saddam Hussein, right, standing there, saying that his country had not been invaded and there were no Americans and there was no fighting. Yet all the world knew, from the videos and all that indeed it had been invaded. And there was fighting. Now, I was listening to the news just before I came on today. And once again, Mr. Gaddafi is doing the same thing. He's standing there and saying on the television that there is no fighting in Libya. I mean, the man has lost the plot, hasn't he? He really has lost the plot. Why do they stand there and say these things in the day of modern technology when we can see exactly what's going on all around us? I mean, it's just madness, isn't it? I just hope that people don't go in there and start, wars going on and everything else. On the other hand, it does need to be controlled. People need to be controlled because there's all sorts of looting and everything going on at the moment. Very, very frightening. James says, on the subject of school dinners, because we were talking about those the other week, when I went to school, they weren't up to much. Well, you didn't like your school? Oh, we had wonderful school dinners. My favourite school dinner meal was Spam fritters. You can't get those for love or money. I'll have to make my own eventually. Spam fritters. Probably not the best sort of meat to eat, is it? Spam. Yeah. Let's see. The King's Speech, he said, James, which I haven't seen yet, is a great film, and it is a great portal of the. It is a great portal of the film. All right, Jack, I'm just trying to work out what you're saying here. Hope you do get to watch it. It really is a good film. The latest James Bond films aren't like they used to be. Yeah, I agree with that as well. I haven't enjoyed the last couple of James Bond films, especially with this new James Bond, who looks very nice, But once again, we're in the situation now in the world where everything is based on looks. Look at the charts. There aren't many ugly singers, are there? People that aren't near perfect. And it's all looks. A lot of these people, I don't think, have got much talent at all. People are not being employed for their talents anymore. They are employed for their youth and their looks. It's true. It's true. To be honest, James, I'm having trouble working out what you're saying here, mate. It's just find with. I'm going to leave that email because I don't know what. It's really. Let's try one of your other emails, James. Let's have a look at this one. He says, I heard you talk about you having a bad experience with the telephone company 3. Yes. I had a terrible experience. Mind you, I'm going back quite a few years now. I'm going back when 3 first came up. We have a network here, a telephone network here in this country called 3. And my experience of them, they were diabolical. The customer service was absolutely abysmal. And I left them. And still after I left them, the bills continued to arrive. My advice to you would be not to go to 3. Now, recently, I can't remember, for some reason I was in a 3 shop, possibly with someone else, and this bloke come up. I think it was with someone else, and I was trying to talk them out of it, but they weren't having it. They were going to buy a phone, and this bloke come over to me and says, "What network are you with?" So I said, "I'm very happy with my network, thanks," and I left it at that. But he went on. You know how they go on in shops? He started going on and on. I said, I'm with Orange. Thank you very much. Very happy being with them. Been with them for 20 years. And they treat me with respect. When I phone, you get answered very quickly. And I'm very, very pleased with Orange. And he started going on. I said, look, mate. So I started telling him then. Well, he asked for it, dear. He asked for it. And I says, look, Years ago, I had a phone with you. Your customer service was abysmal. Never again. Ah, yes, well, how long ago was that? I said, probably about 15 years. Oh, well, it's changed. I said, doesn't matter. You had your chance then, and you blew it. I'm not coming back. And I'm like that. I'm sorry. Once you've annoyed me, that's it. I'm off. I'm gone. Now, Philips, worldwide renowned company, Philips. I once had one of their cassette recorders, the very, very early cassette recorders. You may remember those, boys and girls, those of you that are old enough. I bet Phil remembers these, Phil in Oddiston. Cassette recorders with a single control. You pushed it up to play, pull it back to stop, move it to the left and move it to the right. It went wrong. Right? And my dad took it back to the shop because I was only young then. And they lost the power pack. And this particular shop wouldn't give me a new power pack. Right? And he was trying to do a deal with my dad. So, well, we'll go halves on one. No, you lost it. Now, of course, this wasn't necessarily Philips's fault. But nevertheless, you know, it was a shop that sold Philips. I never, ever bought another Philips product. And this poor old bloke from 3 was going on and on about how good the service. And I said, no. I said, you just don't get it, do you? I'm not interested. You upset me once, that's it. You will never get another penny out of me. And walked off. So, yes. James goes on to say, I had a bad experience with 3-2. I had a bill dispute with them. They admitted in the end they'd made the error, but it took them a long time to sort the problem out. And 3 have been on BBC Watchdog once years ago for bad coverage, and 3 times a couple of years ago for making terrible mistakes on people's bills and chasing them for non-existent charges, and twice for telling people there was a good single in the area when they wanted, and it wasn't true. It just goes to show there seems to be problems with the network. These companies should give good customer experience, not leaving them with a headache. From James. Well, half the problem, James, is that these blooming customer services are in another country. And one hand doesn't know what the other one's saying to each other. They don't. They are... The service from the 3 telephone network was, if not is, the worst I have experienced from any company. Okay? If you want to go with them, go with them. I will never give them another penny of my money. And Phil in Hoddesdon, here is another one here. 3 service is dire. I wouldn't ever use them again. So, you know, there we are. Another one there. How many other people have had a bad experience with the 3 telecommunications company? Anyone else, then let us know. Merlin says, please don't say that I'm stuck in a contract with them. You see, well, you get what you pay for, Merlin. Undoubtedly, 3 is the cheapest service of all of them. But God, if anything goes wrong, God help you, mate. God help you. Fag Ashley on the subject of James Bond. Daniel Craig is no looker. Bring back Pierce Brosnan. Pierce Brosnan, his James Bond films were quite good, right? I personally like Roger Moore. What seems to have disappeared from them is the humour. The last film, Quantum of Solace, or whatever it was called, and the one before that, seemed to be very, very lacking in funny bits. James Bond was always known as doing sort of funny bits, you know, amusing little bits in there, wasn't it? Don't you think? And that's what's missing. That is what's missing. How are we doing on time? Oh, we've got 3 minutes left. Well, I'll just do another couple of messages coming in. Come on, type faster, you lot. Type faster. Merlin says they did a postcode check where he is, and it said it was fine and it would work, and it works everywhere but my blasted house. Oh, your mobile phone doesn't work in the house. Actually, you know, although I'm with Orange, I'm very happy with them. The phone actually in the house doesn't work as well. I have to say, though, the Orange advertising has always been pretty good, but there's a particular Orange advert that I've seen plastered on billboards all over London at the moment, which I think is one of the worst adverts I've ever seen in my life. And it says, Orange and T-Mobile customers can now share a signal. Think of it as a lot. This is the advert. Now listen to this carefully, because it's just rubbish, right? Orange and T-Mobile customers can now share their signal. Think of it as a large signal milkshake with 2 straws in it. I mean, who's come up with that? That's got to be one of the worst pieces of advertising. It just sounds stupid. Once again, that advert. Orange and T-Mobile customers can now share signal. Think of it as a large signal milkshake with 2 straws in it. You know, someone would have got a lot of money for thinking that up. Where do they come from, these people? I don't know. Apparently 3 has its service centre in Wales. Well, you know, that's neither here nor there. They're just terrible. Phil says, I just wish O2 would do a mobile with 15 gig like 3 do. Never had a problem with O2. All right, boys and girls, time for me to disappear now. The email address of the show is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Send an email at any time, okay? chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I'll see you again Thursday morning at 11 o'clock UK time. Thanks for watching and listening. Have a good day.